KONDOSAN.
Once upon a time, a masquerade ball was held every year as a tradition at the palace where Cinderella lived. Cinderella was so excited about the ball.
Pofu, what about a white swan costume?
Yes, that sounds great!
A swan costume, huh?
Sarah went immediately to her mother, Rosa the witch, to tell her about what she'd heard.
Cinderella said she'd wear a swan costume to the ball.
Is that so? Well, I think you look better in a swan costume. You should be the one wearing it.
It was the tradition for the prince to choose the girl who danced the best. He would then dance with her at the ball.
The prince will never dance with me if Cinderella's there. She dances really well.
Don't worry about that. Cinderella won't be at the ball.
What do you mean?
Leave that part to me, dear. I'm sure it'll look great when it's finished.
Yes, but I need to go downtown to pick up some materials for the wing.
This is my chance.
Cinderella's carriage was waiting for her at the gate to take her downtown. While on the road, Cinderella realized something was wrong.
Hey, coachman. This isn't the road to downtown. Who are you? Where are you taking me? What is that?
The witch brought Cinderella to a deserted mill.
By the time you manage to escape, Sarah will have already danced with the prince. Ha 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 ha.
Puffle was getting worried.
What's taking Cinderella so long? She should have been back by now.
Then she ran into Sarah and Rosa the witch.
I wonder what they're talking about.
But what if Cinderella escapes?
Don't worry, she can't get out of there. She's locked up in the mill on Cliff Valley. Wow! The witch kidnapped Cinderella and locked her up. No one can stop you from dancing with the prince, dear.
I'm so lucky my mother is a skilled witch.
I can't believe this! I have to save Cinderella!
Puffle started running to Cliff Valley.
There's the mill!
Regaining her consciousness, Cinderella shouted desperately, hoping someone would hear her.
Can anyone hear me? Help me!
Cinderella! I'm here! Don't worry, I'll save you.
Pofu, my dear friend.
I need to find a way to lift this plank. Hey, lovely dear. Could you help us? Thank you, my friend. I'm so glad you're here.
I don't know who locked me up here. How did you find me?
It was Rosa the witch who kidnapped you. I heard her talking to Sarah. They don't want you at the ball.
Is that so?
Yes, apparently without you there, nobody can stop Sarah from dancing with the prince.
Let's go, Pofu. We must get to the palace before the masquerade ball starts.
Meanwhile, Sarah wore the swan costume that Cinderella was planning to wear.
Oh, your costume looks amazing. Don't worry, the prince will choose you.
Yes, the prince will finally realise how beautiful I am.
He'll get confused and then fall out of love with Cinderella.
Cinderella and Pofu finally got to the palace.
What are you going to do now?
I don't have time to get another costume, but I want to go to the ball.
I think the prince should hear about this.
I guess you're right, Pofu.
Cinderella told the prince what had happened.
What did the prince say?
He told me to get dressed.
But you don't have a costume. What will you do?
Dear Pofu, sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution.
The masquerade finally began. As tradition had it, couples danced first.
You're doing great. Well done. Keep dancing.
But there was another girl that danced pretty well.
I wonder who that girl with the mask is. She's really good.
Another tradition was that the prince would wear a knight's mask, so everyone would know that it was the prince.
Come on, knight. Choose the swan.
And Rosa got what she wanted.
Yes, there you go. The prince picked Sarah.
Meanwhile, a man wearing a shepherd costume asked the girl with the mask to dance with him.
Oh, the girl with the mask ended up with the shepherd.
Then the big moment arrived. But something unbelievable happened.
No, you're not the prince.
Oh, how could this be?
All eyes turned to the other couple.
Oh, the shepherd is the prince. No, no.
Cinderella! Hooray! Our princess won!
The preparations for the birthday of Cinderella's beloved husband, the prince, had begun at the palace. Cinderella was so excited.
I think I'll bake the prince's birthday cake this year. What do you say, Pofu?
That sounds great. I'm sure the prince would love that.
She's going to make the prince's birthday cake, huh?
Sarah immediately shared with her mother, the witch, what she had just heard.
So Cinderella said that, huh?
Yes, she said she'd bake the prince's cake.
This girl wins the prince's heart even more with everything she does for him. It's not cool.
She really annoys me. I should have been the one married to the prince and be his princess.
Wait a second. I have an idea.
What is it?
She'll be so embarrassed in front of the prince that she won't be able to look anyone in the eye ever again.
How are we going to do this?
Listen to me carefully.
The next day, Cinderella went into the kitchen and got everything ready to bake the cake.
Oh, Pofu, I'm so nervous. What if the cake turns out bad?
It'll be delicious. I'm sure of it. You just need to relax.
I'm glad you're by my side. I love you so much. Let's make sure I have everything. Milk, eggs, flour, vanilla, sugar. I guess we've got it all, but...
But what? What's wrong?
Blackberries! I forgot to pick blackberries. I can't make the cake without them.
Don't worry. I'll just go and pick some for you.
When Pofu left to pick blackberries, Cinderella started mixing the ingredients. Meanwhile, Rosa and Sarah were busy scheming their wicked plan.
I wonder how the filling made with spoiled milk will taste like.
I'm certain the prince won't like it at all.
Once upon a time, in a small house there lived a young married couple. They were a very happy couple and were expecting a baby.
I know it's important for our baby to be healthy, but I do hope we have a daughter, my love.
Yes, I would love to have a daughter too. God willing, we'll have a daughter that will look like you.
The day of the birth was getting closer, and the young mother excitedly awaited the birth of her baby. Every day the mother would look out the window and over the high wall and admire her neighbour's garden filled with flowers and fruits. One day she noticed a yellow-leaf plant that she had never seen before.
I wonder what the name of that plant is. It smells wonderful. I'm sure it tastes amazing too. I have to eat that plant. I will go straight to my neighbor and ask her.
Without wasting any time, the young mother left the house. But she had no idea that her next-door neighbor was a cruel witch. She knocked on the door, unaware of the danger that awaited her.
Ooh. Hello, neighbor. The yellow plant in your garden smells amazing. I'm pregnant and really craving for it. Is it an edible plant?
Of course. I can give you a little. It tastes incredible and it's really good for humans.
Then it'll be good for my baby too.
Of course, dear neighbour. Especially for expecting mothers. But remember, because it's so valuable, you may only take one.
Everything is going just as I planned.
The young woman finished eating the piece she had taken as soon as she got home, but she wanted to eat more.
Bring me more. If I don't eat it, I can't have this baby.
Don't worry. I'll do everything I can to bring you more of that yellow plant.
As night fell and it got dark, the helpless husband climbed over the tall wall and took the plant that his wife wanted. This went on for some time. Every night, the young man secretly entered the garden, but he was uneasy about entering his neighbour's garden without permission. The bad witch had actually grown this plant to set up a trap to them. She knew that her neighbour was expecting a baby and that she would definitely crave for this with its smell. She had her eye on the baby for a long time. She was going to take the baby one way or another. When the time of the birth arrived, a beautiful baby girl was born. The witch went to the house immediately.
Her name shall be Rapunzel. You shall raise her until she turns 1. In exactly 1 year, I will come and take her from you.
The helpless couple accepted. When Rapunzel turned 1, the witch came and took the crying baby away from her mother and father and locked up the baby in a tower in the middle of the forest. She was going to raise the baby there. Many years passed. Rapunzel was now a beautiful young girl. As she had never cut her hair, it was several meters long. Her hair was golden blonde. She had deep green eyes. Whenever the witch went to the tower, she would call out to her.
My dear blonde-haired girl, I'm here. Let your hair down.
Rapunzel would throw her long braid down, and the witch would climb up to the tower using her hair. Rapunzel thought that the witch was her mother. As she had never seen anyone else other than the witch until now, Rapunzel thought that she and her mother were the only ones in this world. She had a wonderful voice. She sang all day long until nightfall. Her voice echoed across the forest, and all the birds would fly to the window to listen to her. Birds were her only friends. One day, a prince was wandering around the forest. When he heard Rapunzel singing, he wondered where this marvelous sound was coming from. As he followed the direction of the sound, He approached the tower and realized the voice was coming from there.
I must meet the girl with this amazing voice. I wonder how I can go up this tower.
As he desperately walked round and round the tower, he suddenly saw a witch calling to the top of the tower. He hid behind a tree at once and watched.
My dear blonde-haired girl, I'm here. Let your hair down.
Rapunzel let down her braided hair, and the witch climbed up to the tower.
I found how to go up the tower.
Having waited for the witch to leave, the prince now called out to the tower, impersonating the voice of the witch.
My girl, please let down your beautiful blonde hair again. I forgot something up there.
I'm letting it down right away, Mother.
With one swift move, she let down her hair again. The prince climbed up the tower using her hair and met Rapunzel. It was the first time in her life that the beautiful girl was seeing another person.
Ah! Who are you? Why are you here? Where is my mother?
There's no need to be afraid. I'm the prince of this country. Your wonderful voice brought me here. To come up here, I had to impersonate your mother's voice.
Rapunzel, who at first was very frightened, slowly realized that he wasn't a bad person. The prince was already charmed by her beauty.
Oh.
Days and months passed by. The prince was coming to the tower every day. When they spent time together, they didn't realize how fast the time passed. Then, he finally proposed to Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, I want to live with you for the rest of my life. Will you marry me?
Of course I'll marry you.
I must now return to the palace. I will try and find a solution to get you out of here at once.
Rapunzel was very excited that she would finally see the outside world once she married the prince. She was so bored of living alone in the tower for all those years. He held Rapunzel's hair and headed down the tower. Unfortunately, the witch was there too and saw the prince. She immediately understood what was going on. She raged with anger. As Rapunzel was pulling her hair back up again, the witch held onto it and climbed up. She was so annoyed and furious.
What's going on? Who's that just left? I've been hiding you up here to protect you from evil, but you've been talking to strangers and making friends with them.
He's the prince of this country. He asked for my hand in marriage, and I accepted. I'm so happy, Mother. I was waiting for you to come and tell you all about it.
What? What nonsense is this? I'll show you.
The witch was so angry that with a pair of scissors, she cut Rapunzel's long hair short as can be. And with her magic, she then sent her to a very faraway country. When the prince arrived at the tower the next day, he had no idea that the witch was waiting for him in the tower.
Hi, Rapunzel! I'm here! Let down your hair, please!
The witch let down the long braid that she had cut from Rapunzel's hair. When the prince reached the window of the tower, the witch was there to meet him. He was terrified the moment he saw her.
What a surprise, huh? You thought you were going to be able to take my girl away who I've hidden for years?
As the witch let go of the braid, the terrified prince found himself on the floor. He fell on top of the bushes, but since he hit his head, he was blinded. Rapunzel was ever present in the prince's mind. So mounted on his horse, he searched for her everywhere. He swore that even if he had to go to the end of the world, he would find her. He searched and searched and searched for a very long time. Finally, one day, he heard a song. The voice was familiar to him.
This is Rapunzel's voice. I finally found her.
Galloping on his horse, he headed straight towards the sweet voice. He came to the door of the house Rapunzel was staying in.
Rapunzel, I'm here. Open the door.
I can't believe it. Is it really you?
As Rapunzel opened the door, She cried when she saw the prince. She cried so much that her tears fell on the prince's face as he was kneeling. Her tears were miraculous, joyful tears. Suddenly, the blind prince opened his eyes. They hugged each other joyfully and celebrated this miracle. The prince was finally able to propose officially. They returned to the palace and started preparing for the wedding. Upon their return, Rapunzel and the prince looked for her real parents so they could share their news. They were incredibly happy to be reunited with their daughter after all these years. They had a beautiful wedding and they all lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, there was a poor widowed woman that lived in a village. This woman had a son named Jack. Jack was a very lazy boy, and he would never help his mother around the house. He didn't work either to make some money. Although he was a very clever boy, he was useless.
Jack, wake up! You need to go to the market and sell the last cow we have left.
Jack had never worked. Their only livelihood was selling all the cows they owned after his father passed away.
I'm sorry, Milky Girl, but we have to sell you. We don't have anything left to eat.
On his way to the marketplace, Jack came across a strange old woman.
Good morning, young man. Where are you going?
I'm going to the market to sell our cow.
Don't bother going there. If you give me your cow, I will give you some of my magic beans in return. What do you say?
Jack didn't like this offer, but the woman insisted.
Look, these are magic beans. They will make you rich. Are you sure you don't want them?
What? Rich, you said? Okay, I'll take them.
Jack gave the cow to the old woman. He took the beans and headed back home.
Mom! Look, I sold the cow, and now we have magic beans. I didn't even have to go to the marketplace.
His poor mother almost fainted as she couldn't believe what she heard.
What? How can you do this, Jack? I only asked you to do one thing, but you couldn't even do that. To your room now.
Jack was very angry and upset. He threw the beans he had in his hand outside in the garden. In the morning, the young man looked out the window and saw a plant that was growing rapidly. It was a giant beanstalk rising to the sky.
Oh, what is this? It's a beanstalk. I guess the old woman was telling the truth. The beans were magical. We'll be rich! Rich!
He immediately went out to the garden and started climbing the giant beanstalk. He kept on going up and up. It seemed the plant had no end. The beanstalk reached all the way to the clouds. Among the clouds, there was a huge house in front of him. Everything was so big that even the grass around the house looked like a tree next to Jack. Jack knocked on the door of the giant house. A giant woman opened the door.
I'm very hungry and tired. Can you give me something to eat?
The giant woman felt very sorry for the little boy.
Come on in, but you need to eat and go before my husband arrives.
He hates children, and he can harm you. Jack immediately sat at the table. When he started eating, he suddenly heard a loud and scary voice.
Fee-fi-fo-fum. It smells like children in here. This smell makes me lose my appetite. I don't like it. Where is he?
The giant woman's husband was a horrible-looking giant. The ground trembled when he walked. Hurry, hide in the oven. He mustn't see you. Frightened, Jack hid in the oven right away. When the giant couldn't find Jack, he sat at the table to eat his dinner. Once he finished, he went to his room to take a nap. He kept on saying, "I count, and I'm still not finished." Jack realized that the giant had left. When he was about to leave, he noticed a pouch full of gold on the table.
So this is what he meant when he kept on saying, "I count. Count, I couldn't finish."
Jack threw down the pouch that was more like a sack next to him and slid down the beanstalk.
Mother, look how much gold I've brought you. We're not poor anymore.
Son, where did you get this? I hope you didn't do anything wrong.
Jack convinced his mother and she was relieved. After some time, Jack couldn't stop thinking about the house at the top of the beanstalk.
I wonder what would happen if I go up there again. I'm now experienced too.
One day, he couldn't resist and climbed up the beanstalk again. He went to the giant's house. The giant's wife was a very nice woman, and she let him in again. Before long, the giant returned home. As soon as Jack heard his footsteps, he hid in the oven. The giant came in the house merrily, but his mood suddenly changed. He became angry and growled.
Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell children here again. You know I hate them. I know a child has come to our house today. Who is it?
There is no smell other than the meal I'm cooking, and no one came today. Let me prepare your dinner. You must be hungry. The giant ate until he was completely full. Before he went to his room, he asked his wife to bring him his golden egg-laying chicken. His wife placed it on the table.
I order you! Golden egg! Golden egg!
The chicken would lay a golden egg each time, and the giant would put them in a basket. As soon as the giant went to his room, Jack, who had seen everything through the holes of the oven, grabbed the chicken and slid down the beanstalk back home. Time passed by. Jack and his mother were now very rich, but Jack still didn't want to work. He still couldn't stop thinking about the place where the giant lived. He was interested in the gold.
I will go one more time. This time I need to be more careful.
He went up the beanstalk and entered the house without the giant's wife noticing. He hid in the oven again, but as soon as the giant entered the house...
Fee-fi-fo-fum! Where is this child smell coming from? Ugh, I hate this smell!
The giant's wife, who didn't see Jack come in, told the giant. You shout like this every time you think you smell a child. You can search everywhere. You'll see that there's no one in the house besides us." The giant and his wife searched all over the house, but couldn't find Jack. Jack had hidden very well. After the giant had his meal, he called out to his wife,
"Can you bring me my golden harp?"
The harp that was on the table started playing such beautiful music that the giant, who was completely full, fell asleep soundly. Jack saw the giant fall asleep, grabbed the harp, and started to run. But the magical harp started to scream.
Help! Help! I'm being kidnapped!
The giant heard the harp's shouts and immediately woke up. He ran after Jack, chasing him. Jack was really scared.
"So you're the one who stole my gold and my chicken. I'm going to catch you and imprison you for life."
Jack ran as fast as he could and he jumped and slid down the beanstalk while still holding onto the harp. The giant, who couldn't slide because of his huge body, was extremely angry. As soon as Jack slid down and reached his garden, he cut the beanstalk that, along with the giant, flew very far away. So Jack was now free of the giant. He wondered about the place the giant lived, but was never going to be able to go there again. Jack barely saved his life. He ran straight to his mother.
"Mother, what I've done is not right. You warned me, but I didn't listen to you. From now on, I will never take anyone's belongings without asking them first. I have learned my lesson. No more laziness. I will find a job and work so that I can take care of you."
Oh, my dear clever son. I'm so happy.
After Jack's decision, the golden egg-laying chicken began laying normal eggs. Jack learned to play the magical harp because it no longer played by itself. From that day on, Jack and his mother lived a happy and peaceful life. Jack was now earning his own money as a farmer. He took care of his mother. He had the best job because it was the job he knew how to do.